Hello all, welcome to Prep English. Hope everyone is doing great. Now in this video, we will go through the types of questions that are asked in IELTS listening. We will have a brief overview on all the types of questions that are asked in our IELTS listening test. So let's get started. Before we move on to the types of questions, it is important for us to have 4 important tips to keep in mind. The first is, questions are always in sequence. Throughout the listening task, the questions will follow the sequence of the recording. This means that the answers are in the same order in which the information is presented. Second is, keeping in mind the word limit. Read the instructions very carefully. Be sure about the word limit while answering your questions. Now, in IELTS listening test, you won't be tested on contracted words. What are contracted words? Contracted words are the ones which are made from joining two words, like do not becomes don't. They are becomes there. So these words you will not be tested upon. And the second is hyphenated words, they count as one. Like police hyphen man, policeman, it is a one word. Book hyphen keeping, it's bookkeeping, it is one word. So keep this in mind while attempting your answers. Pauses. Use these pauses to look over the next questions. If you are able to use and utilize these pauses to their maximum potential, then your score will definitely improve. It is in these pauses that the key to IELTS listening test is hidden. If we are able to use these pauses very carefully and very intelligently and smartly, then our score will definitely go up. So using these pauses is very important, and for this reason I'll be making a very separate video on how to use these pauses to improve your scores. Now the last tip is stay relaxed and calm. So in listening test, what happens is sometimes you lose the track of your recording, and that causes you to panic. And in that panic, we get our answers wrong. So it is important to stay relaxed and calm and know if you have missed or you have lost the track of your recording, skip a few questions and search for the answers in the recording. This art of skipping will also be covered in a separate video. So don't worry and stay tuned. Now we're moving on to the types of questions. Now if you look at the content on the internet, you will find that people will say there are 8 types of questions, 9 types of questions, 10 types of questions or 20 types of questions. But in reality, what I believe is there are only 2 types. And all the questions that are asked can be put under these 2 types. One is to recall, the other is to recognize. Recall type questions require us to write down our answers in the response sheet. While in the recognize type of questions, we need to recognize and select the correct answer from the list of options that are given in the question. Right. Now let's discuss about notes. Now in this, you are required to fill in the missing pieces of information in the outline of the text. Now this outline will focus on the main ideas and the facts which are presented in the audio. Now what are notes? All of us have used notes. They are used to summarize information. Whenever we are in a classroom, we take down notes. In a lecture, we take down notes. They are basically structured documents where we note down the details, the important information. So it is very simple and similar to what we have been doing throughout our life. Now let's look at the example. We have a question right in front of us. You can see that we are given a set of notes and we need to fill in our answer. Here we need to carefully observe the instruction. One word or a number in this case. Now, so we need to listen carefully to the audio and answer the questions. Here, headings will give us an idea of what the recording will be about. Now, this example is also of notes. And here as well, first of all, you must read the instruction, which is one word only in this case. So here, numbers are not the correct answers. Here as well, headings will help us understand where we are in the recording. Here we know that initially recent findings will be discussed, and later on the focus of the discussion will be on the benefit of dance for older people. Even before the recording has played, we can get an idea about the information that will be shared in the recording. Now if we look at this example, here we have to fill the information in a form. The headings are given in the column and the information about it is given under it. Now again, we can know that this recording will talk about 3 cookery classes, their focus and some other information about these 3 classes. Name of the classes is in the first column, their focus is in the second one, and other information will make up the last column. Let's look at tables. Now in this type of questions, the information is arranged in rows and columns. Now we are required to fill in the table with the information that is provided in the listening audio. Let's look at an example of tables. First, the instruction which says one word and or a number for each answer. So the answer can be a word or a number. Now here we have an example. 4 columns have information about event, cost, venue and notes, while the rows have information about the jazz band, duck races and flower show, that is the events. Now, if we see question 1, for this we need to listen about the venue in which jazz band will perform. Now similarly, question 2 will have information about Carolyn Hart in the jazz band, who plays something. Now something can be an instrument or a song. So most probably in this case, I think it's an instrument that will be asked. So this is how we need to go about when solving our table. Now next up, we have a flowchart. Now what is a flowchart? It is a type of a diagram which shows the workflow or process. A flowchart is used to summarize a process which has clear stages with the direction of the process shown by arrows. Now in this task, you will select the missing information in 2 ways. It can either be from a list of options that are given, or you need to put down your answers in the response sheet. We will look at both of the examples. Looking at this example, we can clearly see that information is given in points instead of paragraphs. Each point explains a step in the assignment plan, and the steps are in chronological order. Reading instructions here is also of paramount importance. In this, we have to write one word only. Now if we look over to the next example, the layout of the question is same, but difference is in the method of selecting our answer. We need to select the alphabet which is the best suited response for our question. Here, getting to know the list of options and predicting the type of answer will help us to get the correct answer. Now next up we have labeling. In this, we are required to complete the labels or put the labels on a plan or a map or a diagram. Now the plan can be a floor plan of a building or a plan of a zoo. Now the map can be of a city, of a country, or of a part of a city or town or a village, and diagram can be of any instrument. These questions usually require us to select our options from a list which is given on the question paper. Now let's look at an example. Now in this question, for example, we are asked to label a map of the part of a town. We can see some landmarks like school, supermarkets, chemist, library and bank, and 3 roads, namely Station Road, High Street and School Road. Now there are alphabets from A through I on different parts of the map. If we can see, A is near Station Road, B is near library, C is opposite to the bank, D is near chemist, E is on the junction of school and high street, I is near the supermarket on school road, H is on the curve of the school road, G is opposite to school and F is to the north of the map. Now our task is to listen to the recording and assign alphabet to the questions. Now next up we have matching. In this we are required to match a list of options given to the questions. Now these types of questions can be asked in 2 ways. The first is when the list of options is repeated, that is, you can use any option more than once. While in other type of questions, you can use the option only once. So in this example, we can use the letter more than once. Well, I think this type of questions is slightly easier because of the nature of the options. We can completely focus on the recording and follow the questions because each question will have only 3 possible options. The other type, which is more commonly asked, is where the options do not repeat. In this example, we can see that we are listed with 7 options and we have to answer 5 questions. To solve these questions, we have to be aware of the 7 comments as well as 5 questions. We can do this if we follow some techniques and tips, and here knowing the comments is very important. Now last but not the least, we are looking at the multiple choice questions. Now in this type of questions, we are given a list of options and we need to select the correct one. For multiple choice questions, read the instructions very carefully to know how many answers are required. In a multiple choice question in which you are required to give one answer out of the 3 options, you will be given a question followed by 3 answers or the beginning of a sentence and the 3 possible ways to end the sentence. Now in the other type of question where you are required to choose more than one answer, you will be given a longer list of options to choose from and you will be told that you have to choose n number of options, like it can be 2, 3, 4, whatever. In this example, we can see there is a question followed by 3 options and we need to pick the one that is best suited response. Here the heading will give us an idea of what the recording will be about. In this case, it will be of traffic changes in a place called Granford. Now if we look at question 11, it requires us to answer the question that is posted. So the question is, why are changes needed to traffic systems in Granford? And there are 3 answers to it. While question 12 demands the best possible way to complete the sentence. In a survey, local residents particularly complained about it can be dangerous driving by parents, pollution from trucks and lorries, or inconvenience from parked cars. Now in this next example, we have a statement and it requires us to select 2 options which are mentioned in the recording. The focus of first question is about participants on the last digital inclusion day, while in the next question we need to listen about 2 activities that the participants describe as useful. Here as well we need to focus on the options given in the question to recognize them and select them as our answer. Alright, so that is it for the types of questions. So in this, we just quickly went over the types. Now in the next few videos, I will go in detail about each and every type. What to do and what not to do, what are the things which we must keep in mind while attempting a question. Now if you learned something, please like the video. If you have a question, please comment below. And if you want to keep learning, please subscribe. Thank you and have a nice day.